Black Gulch. The perfect place for your vacations. This place is very short, like very short, but there's a lot of enemies through it, so it's not as short as the Tomb of Sense, and because there are poison spitting statues everywhere, it always leaves a mark on people, which arguably is not a great thing, because if all you remember about the place is the poison spitting statue, that means the place isn't that good, and I will come back to that, but a bit later. First, let's talk about, well, what's inside that area. So, as I said, you have the poison spitting statues everywhere, and you have a bunch of enemies. So you have one guy that can invade you, you have enemies coming from holes on the side, like giant worms or giant centipedes thingy. There are like 3 of them at best, which isn't a lot. They are cool, but they're super easy to fight because they're super predictable, so not that great, but I guess they're cool in terms of design. There's also a bunch of eldritch abominations, like enemies that have claws for face that come out of black pools. I don't know what those pools are made of. Those creatures are pretty cool to fight. They're not that hard. And yeah, that's kinda it. Honestly, this area, if you just rush through it as fast as you can, I'm pretty sure you can dodge the statue and reach the end of the area and where the boss is. There's also a secret bonfire you can unlock. But yeah, there are 2 ways basically to go through that area. As I said, you can rush through it or you can destroy every single statue. Make sure to not die, or you will have to start from scratch. Well, if you take an area like Iron Cape, it sounds bad. Here, since it's pretty short, it doesn't sound as bad until you realize there are a lot of statues. And destroying the statues contrary to the gutter. In the gutter, you can destroy the statue pretty safely. Here, sometimes when trying to destroy a statue, another one will spit on you. So it's a bit more challenging if you want to destroy every single statue, which is both good and bad. Good because, well, more challenge. It's always good, but not when it's frustrating, you know. Now I want to talk a bit about the creatures you encounter here. So as I said, you have the ones with claws instead of their face, and you have the giant centipede. Those creatures are cool in design, but again, I wish there was more of it. I wish Black Gulch was longer. You had more things to do, more interesting creatures to fight. I wish it was just not about the bunch of poison spitting statue all over the place. Like, poison spitting statue, the idea is cool, but don't make an entire area based on that. Make it like a short section of the area, and then the next section could be about the Eldritch Abominations. The atmosphere is good at first, but since you can just destroy everything and kill every enemy in here, and turn the place into a safe zone very easily and very fast, it ends up falling short, honestly. It's scary, it's green, there are Eldritch horrors, yeah. In not even 20 minutes you can clean the entire zone, and then the feeling is just, well, empty. There's nothing here. I don't think people would have liked 2 more hours of poison statues everywhere, but making this place louder doesn't mean copy-pasting the same entity again and again. Again, as I said, the Eldritch Horrors are cool. If you make the area longer, you can add more of them. And when I say more of them, I'm not saying copy-pasting the same 2 Eldritch Horrors that are already there. I mean making new ones for once. And I think it could be great to turn the short Black Gulch into 2 separate sections, one focused on the poison statues and one focused on the Eldritch Horrors, and you can add a bunch of statues to make the encounters more tricky. But don't spam the hell out of the statue and don't put them everywhere. It's cool at first, but then it just becomes annoying to fight them again and again, just like Hollow Knight. And just like anything in life, you do something once, it's cool. If you do it 1,000 times, no matter how cool it was at first, it just becomes boring and sometimes frustrating. Now, there's also a bit of secret to find here, mainly near the end of the area, right before the secret bonfire. You can fall on the side and reach a place where there are 2 giants, for some weird reasons, because wait a second. The giants are supposed to be mostly located on the Forest of Fallen Giants, because that's where the war against the giants happened, you know? And I mean, encountering still living giants in the world, why not? But the first boss you fight in the game is literally called the Last Giant. So why the hell are we finding more alive giants in the rest of the world? I guess because no one knows they're there? Yeah, if they're located in Black Gulch, I guess that makes sense. But at the same time, why are they in Black Gulch? Like, do you know what the Tomb of Sense, the gutter, and the Black Gulch represent? No, let me explain. You have a well in Majula. In that well, people come and just throw away their trash. Okay? That trash ends up in the gutter. And I guess then it ends up in Black Gulch if it's possible. How are 2 giants ending up here? or down here in that case. First of all, the hole, the well, it's not big enough for 2 giants. And secondly, why are they located down there in this place? It's just really weird, honestly. Anyway, creating 3 underground areas just to add 2 boss fights and 1 covenant is not enough. As I said, 2 of Saints is too short, it's not worth your time. Gutter is too short, there's no boss fight, it's still cool, but it's still too short. And Black Gulch is also super short, and the boss fight at the end is not even good, and I'm going to talk about it in just a second. Those 3 areas are dog shit. Like, I know I said the Gutter was good, but if you combine the 3, honestly, it's not that bad, because they're not frustrating. Like, Iron Keep was frustrating, so it's bad. Undead Purgatory was frustrating, so it's bad. Here, it's just that they're short, and that the bosses are bad. The atmosphere, the IDs, and the design are all great. Those are great, but they just didn't go deep enough with this. Pun intended once again. It's just not enough. And it seems I've said that a lot about Dark Souls 2. And I think I know why, and I say I think because maybe it's not the truth, maybe it's not the true reason. There are so many areas in Dark Souls 2. When you compare Dark Souls 2, the number of areas and bosses compared to like Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, or even Bloodborne, there's a lot of them, a lot of them. But that can be a mistake, because instead of doing a lot of very short areas with a lot of very bad or easy bosses, you can make fewer areas but make them better, fewer bosses and make them better. Like, you could make the Tomb of Saints longer, better, like some sort of catacombs, but you could also just remove it and focus your energy and time on making the Gutter bigger and better, or making Black Gulch bigger and better. Same with a lot of areas in this game. You could remove literally entire section of this game and focus your time and energy on upgrading other areas, and it would make the game so much better. Why bother making small areas with bad bosses just for the sake of saying, look, our game has so many areas and bosses? No. If it's bad, there's no point to it. As much as I like the atmosphere in Black Gulch, in the Gutter, if they removed those 3 areas, Black Gulch, Gutter, and Tomb of Saints, and focused their time and energy when doing a remake on other places, I think the game would just be as good. Like, players are not missing anything by not going to Black Gulch or the Gutter. And that's going from someone who likes Blighttown a lot. Anyway, now let's talk about the last great soul boss fight, the Rotten. This guy is a big amalgamation of husks, equipped with a machete for some reason. Additionally, there are flames all around the area, and if you step on them it will burn your ass, and that's it. And it's weird. Why is the area on fire? Why are the fires inextinguishable? Like, they just keep burning forever? It's really weird, because when you go through Black Gulch, you get an idea about the place. You know, it's green, it's poisonous, you have eldritch abominations. The boss of this area isn't green. It's not, I guess you could say it's an eldritch abomination, but it's not natural to the place. The eldritch abomination you encounter in Black Gulch, they seem to live here. And they seem to have evolved and adapt to the darkness of the place. Why the hell is the final boss, well, not the final boss, but the boss at the end of Black Gulch, has nothing to do with the area. It doesn't use poison. The statues in the area it's seen are not green like the ones in Black Gulch before it, they're actually white like the ones in the Gutter. This makes me think that the Rotten might have actually been the boss of the Gutter originally, and I think it would have been better. And maybe they just moved around the Rotten as boss of the Black Gulch because they didn't have enough time to work on a really good boss for Black Gulch. Because why the flames? Why the white statue? Why no poison? You would expect the boss at the end of Black Gulch to have something to do with either darkness or poison, but not flames and undead. It's weird. I guess you could argue that the undeads that fell at the bottom of the Gutter ended up dying again and again until they reached the bottom of Black Gulch. The creatures living in Black Gulch could have also eaten them, which would explain why there's no undead in Black Gulch. Why the hell is the Rotten located at the end of Black Gulch? It doesn't make sense. And when you look, like, just visually, the Rotten and its area, they don't belong in Black Gulch. It doesn't match, just in terms of color, it doesn't match. It's kinda similar to Nashka being in the Shaded Woods. Why? You don't know why, and you will never know why. Now, in terms of gameplay, this guy, well, doesn't do much. I know I said that about previous bosses, but it's just what it does. It's a disappointment. He moves his machete around. He does an explosive attack at some point, which is actually interesting. It's funny that I said that, because if you compare the moveset of the Rotten to other great bosses in the Soul series, it's just bad. But when you compare it to to Dark Souls 2 bosses, it's actually pretty cool. And I'm sad that early bosses like the Pursuer, the Last Giant are fine for early bosses, but in truth, the rest of the bosses in the game are all early bosses, in the sense that they all have very simplistic movesets. And there are a few exceptions, but those exceptions are found in the DLC solely, so it's just sad, again, to see that Dark Souls 2 has so much potential and it falls short in literally every single aspect of the game. Overall, this area is cool thematically, in design, but it's too short, there's too many poses and statue, there's not enough emphasis on the Eldritch Abominations, the Rotten doesn't belong here, thematically, color-wise, his moveset is okay, which is sad because he's a great soul, so it should be much better than this, but it's just not. This area, the previous one, and the ones before that are all too short, and just removing them all from the game would not make the game worse. So I cannot give this area a good note, like it's a 5 out of 10 at best, which is sad honestly. Anyway, I'll leave you with that, thanks for watching, next time we'll talk about Drangleic Castle. Bye!